What's up, guys? Back again with an NFL video as I promised this morning. Hopefully, if you saw my video this morning from the NBA slate tonight, you know that this was coming. So I wanted to do it tonight because, well, the likelihood of you being able to see this video before lineups lock tomorrow is probably pretty low. But we're getting it out now, so let's get started. Also, I've noticed I haven't been getting a lot of views, so you guys that have been, viewing the videos recently, you're probably getting, a lineup that probably not a lot of people are running. So definitely make sure that, you run this lineup, you tail it, and you let me know. Tag me on Twitter if you end up cashing. I would really much appreciate it. Build up a little reputation and get this channel going a bit more. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Put that bell notification on so that way you know when I'm posting a video. Like I said, I'll be doing daily stuff for NBA and NFL. I'll probably do the Monday night football one, probably Monday morning. I'm gonna be away on Sunday, so hopefully I'll have time to record that one before that comes out. Same thing with the NBA slate. I'll probably do a double video that day as well, as I'm doing today. So this is an exciting one. I kind of like this slate. So obviously this is going to be for the main slate on Sunday, all the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games. So when you go in and you're trying to figure out where you want to put this lineup, this is for the main slate. So we're running with a little Fitz magic here at the QB position. He's only 5,200. Last week he had a great game, posting 24 fantasy points, being only 4,800 salary. So that was against the Jets. Obviously, that's not a hugely effective defense, but he's not going against a great one this week, the Colts. Especially when they are starting Brian Hoyer, I don't expect their offense to really jump on the Dolphins early, as much as some people might think. So this gives Fitzmagic a little bit of time to get into the game, see what the game plan the Colts are running, and I think he's going to have a great game. The only problem is he did lose Preston Williams for the year, unfortunate tearing his ACL. But going forward, he still has Devontae Parker. He has Mike Gesicki at tight end, and he has no longer he has Walton, so he has Ballage out of the backfield. So hopefully, I think Fitzmagic will get some stuff going tomorrow against the Colts. It's a 4 o'clock game, so obviously the lineups will lock before this game starts. But I think he's a good option, a good budget at 5,200. And the reason I'm running Fitzmagic is so that way we can have enough salary to play Christian McCaffrey tomorrow. Definitely the #1 fantasy guy this year. I'd be surprised if he didn't continue that trend tomorrow going against Green Bay. Green Bay hasn't been great against running backs this year, ranking 23rd in the NFL against opposing running backs. And combining that with Christian McCaffrey's 32.7 fantasy points per game, I really like this matchup for McCaffrey tomorrow. And that leads us into our second running back. This is Devin Singletary. I really liked what I saw from him last week. He was a beast. He looks like he's taken over that backfield over Frank Gore, though I do love myself some Frank Gore. Singletary has been great since coming back from injury. Obviously, they used him in the Miami game, so he didn't score that much. Last 2 games, he scored 14.9 or higher, and he's at a pretty cheap price still at, I believe, 5,000. Yes, 5,000 on the dot. He's going against a Cleveland defense who, again, not very good against the run, only 27th against opposing running backs. So I really like Singletary as a nice second option tomorrow, not only just for running the ball, but receiving as well. I see him as a good pass catcher, and I think, like I said, he's taken over that backfield from Frank Gore. I think their carries were 2/3 to Singletary. Might have even been a little bit higher than that last week. So definitely Singletary is looking like a great play. He might be popular, so I wouldn't be surprised even if he did really well that you guys didn't have a huge boost in whether you cash or not. He's not really my cash guy. He's more of just someone who I trust at that price range. So Devin Singletary, definitely a great pick for tomorrow. Next, we're getting to our receivers. So Mr. Dependable Cooper Kupp. I love this guy. I played him when he went off for 40, I believe, against the Bengals. He went off for 38. So that was a really big game for him. He's a very dependable receiver. He gets mad targets every game. He hasn't had less than 6 targets all season. So he's going to get the ball. Now, depending on whether he gets in the end zone or not, that could be a huge difference between whether you cash or whether you don't. The only other receiver I was considering in this spot was Mike Evans, but I do think that with him going against the Cardinals, I think that's Patrick Peterson is going to be his assignment. So another guy you could slide in the spot is maybe Chris Godwin. I think he's the same price actually. So if you wanted to go for a boom or bust kind of pick, Chris Godwin would be in the slot. But I really like Cooper Kupp's dependability and his ability to get targets. I won't ever have to worry about him. I think Chris Godwin only got like 4 catches last week or something like that. And they were all like in the back end of it. So that receiving core is kind of hard to read. So I'm going to go with one that is a bit more easy to read with being Cooper Kupp in this case. Next, we're going to go with Christian Kirk. So Christian Kirk obviously returned last week from injury, and I think he has a really great matchup against this Tampa Bay Bucks team. Obviously, they got torched last week by Tyler Lockett. Obviously, Russell Wilson, a lot better quarterback than Kyler Murray at this point in their careers. But I really do like Christian Kirk's ability to get open. He's another one of those guys, kind of like Cooper Kupp, who gets a lot of targets when he's healthy. As I'm looking at last week, he did only get 2 catches, but that was also against the 49ers. And obviously, the 49ers have Richard Sherman, who was pretty much blanketing him all game. The game before that, he had 8 receptions, 79 yards, and 11 targets, and that was against the Saints, who actually aren't a bad pass defense team. So I think Christian Kirk, when healthy, can be a really good player. And because of his injury, he's actually only put at 5,200. So going against the Bucks, I really like this guy as a budget pick tomorrow. I don't think he'll be too highly owned because I don't think a lot of people really trust him, and rightfully so because that offense is a bit interesting with how they use their guys. But I think Christian Kirk's going to have a busy day tomorrow. And last receiver, I'm going with Marquise Hollywood Brown. He had a really good game against the Patriots, actually. I mean, considering the Patriots, their secondary is best in the league. And no, I'm not biased. I actually do think their secondary is best in the league. He returned from injury, getting 3 catches for 48 yards, 4 targets. He didn't really get much in the second half, but that first half, he was really good. And that's kind of how he's been. He's come out, had a really good first half, and second half, he kind of been shut down a little bit. But at his price range, I think he's only 3,800. No, sorry, 5,100. So price is kind of high for him, but going against Cincinnati tomorrow, I really like that matchup for him because I think he can definitely burn that secondary. I don't think that secondary is very great. And I think you could definitely see him getting one of those big long touchdowns that he got week 1, week 2. So I really like Marquise Brown tomorrow. I think his floor is kind of low, but his ceiling's really high. So he's one of those guys that, again, is going to be pretty low owned, I think, because not a lot of people trust him. But I'm going to put my trust in him tomorrow because I really like that matchup against Cincinnati. Though, the only thing I could see that might make me change this pick later on is seeing that Cincinnati isn't great against the run. So this might make for, Mark Ingram Day. So definitely make sure you follow me on Twitter on this. Marquise Brown also is questionable, but I'm pretty sure he's expected to play. I'm playing him in my fantasy team, not only on Draftkings, but on regular ESPN. So I really like Brown's big playability, and I think he'll be an option tomorrow, looking at how much he's costing. Next, I think this tight end could make or break your cash, so listen up. Chris Herndon. Chris Herndon had obviously the 4-game suspension to start. He actually hasn't played a snap this year, though he was active last week. I think that they were just putting him as active to have him for emergency situations. I don't think they were actually planning on playing him, and they didn't. So this week he's going against the Giants. Last week, if you guys saw that Monday night game, Jason Witten got, I believe, 7 catches for like 55 yards against the Giants. So tight end's definitely a position where the Giants are not great at attacking, though they do have a pretty good safety in Jabril Peppers. So I'm kind of surprised at that fact, but I do really like Chris Herndon tomorrow. I know him and Sam Darnold have really good chemistry from last year. Chris Herndon was a beast going down in the second half last year. So I really like this guy. His price is only $3,800. I think ownership will probably be between like maybe 2 and 10%. I don't think there will be a huge percentage that actually play him because he hasn't played a game this year. So, this lineup is kind of, I think one of the best ones of the year because there's so many guys that could be boom or bust. And if they boom, guys, we're running in some money here. So I'm really excited about this. My flex guy is another Mr. Dependable, Jamison Crowder. When healthy this year, this guy gets so many targets, it's ridiculous. Last week he had 8 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown on 9 targets. And then going before that, he's had between 3 to 9 targets. And then obviously week 1 he had that one weird 17 target game where he had 14 catches for 99 yards against the Bills. But I really like his ability to get open. I like how he's kind of like Cooper Kupp in a way where he doesn't burn you with the deep ball, but he's more of like that intermediate pass catcher, kind of like a Julian Edelman and Cooper Kupp kind of thing. So I really like Jamison Crowder, and he does have speed, so I think he could actually end up taking a dig to the end zone. Not a huge red zone target, but that's kind of why we have Herndon in the lineup, because I think he's going to be the better red zone target. But I definitely can see a lot of catches coming from Jamison Crowder, priced at only $5,000 and going against the Giants, who are 30th in the NFL against opposing wide receivers. Lastly, for a defense, I'm surprised they're actually priced this low, but I do see the Kansas City Chiefs defense as being a really good play this week going against Tennessee. Tennessee's offense has been really inconsistent this year, basically hoping that Derrick Henry goes for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, which actually hasn't happened as often this year as some thought. And the Chiefs aren't great against the run, but they did do a very good job last week holding Dalvin Cook to a pretty low amount of rushing yards. And over the last couple weeks, they did have that really great game against Denver, and I do see this game kind of similar to that. Obviously, I think Tannehill's better than Joe Flacco, but I don't see very many weapons on the outside for Tannehill to use. I mean, A.J. Brown, he gets 2 catches a game, and they either go for 20 yards or they go for 70 yards. He's one of those guys. And then Adam Humphries, I think he's pretty much past his prime at this point. I think going to the Titans was a really bad idea for him. If he had gone to the Pats, he probably could have had a better outcome this year, but yeah, I'm a Pats fan. I know I have a little bias on this, but I definitely think the Chiefs are going to have a really good defensive game tomorrow. I don't think they'll put up as many points as they did against the Broncos, but I could definitely see them putting up 10 points or more. I think their floor is probably about 5. If Derrick Henry does get it going tomorrow, but I don't see a huge game from him, so I really like the Chiefs. Chris Jones is back. They got Ogba on the outside, so they got some great pass rushers. I really like this lineup for tomorrow, and like I said, I will update you guys on whether I do decide to keep Marquise Brown in or not. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. I, again, will put my Twitter in the description. If you want to see my NBA video that you haven't seen yet, make sure to check that out. That was my latest video I posted on the channel. Hoping to get some more views so that way I can help some more people, but I know the few people that I am that are watching this, they have let me know that they've cashed. So I really hope to continue that trend going into tomorrow. I think it's going to be a fun day. I think it's going to be exciting, and I think we could really hit it big. So as always, let's get that money, boys.